Yo, we did it. No Jason today. I guess I was expecting the rock on. Instead, I got.
Yeah, I realized I needed to do a thing with my beardness, and then so the rock on.
Well, hey everybody. No Jason today.
Hello.
Taking a sick day.
Yeah, like I know for a fact Jason's actually sick because he was supposed to take Tony to the movies and didn't. So he's actually sick.
Yeah, I believe it for sure.
We should get paid time off for this.
I agree.
I agree.
Just saying.
Yes. Yeah. We'll start with paid.
Actually, I was like, forget the time off. We should get paid.
We'll start with paid time and then work up to paid time.
Hey,
off.
Do you guys want to unionize? There's literally three.
Yes.
Yes. It's 3 out of 4 in bed.
No.
Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Like OSHA standards. If there's more than a certain number, we gotta.
Unsolicited, like so many people. I think it's like 75% of the crew needs to be on board.
We did it.
But like,
we did it. Sorry, Jason.
But then Jason he'll add like 5 more people.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. It's like all of a sudden there's 8 more geeks involved,
and we're no longer on the cast.
and it's like you get union busted. We like you try to go to your computer rooms, our respective computer rooms. They're just like,
I'll drive
scabs.
I'll drive all the way to Ohio. I'll drive all the way to Ohio to pick it.
Hey,
oh my goodness!
We won't go. Let us stream. Today we're talking a bunch of stuff, but
yeah,
Spider-Man trailer, Dune,
Spider-Man trailer,
the short.
Oh, the short. Okay. I was like, ooh.
I said that wrong. That'd be cool too.
I was like, what?
And top 5 X-Men, I think. Yeah. But yeah. Before we get into that, what did everybody see? Did anybody see anything cool? Anything you guys enjoyed?
I went and saw Ghostbusters.
I think Mike did too. You guys want to talk about it real quick? I haven't seen it. If you guys want to talk about it.
I thought it was okay. It was very much okay, just like the last one. And I'm a little saddened by it. I mean, like it's fine, you know. Like, hey, if you like Ghostbusters, Slimer's in it, you're gonna like it. I kind of enjoy Dan Aykroyd kind of just being himself in this movie. Max's name is but I'm down for the. I'm already part of the union. I'm already pro union. It doesn't matter that my name is on the LLC. You're not here. You get to be the bad guy. You're also like a balding white man and a middle-aged balding white man. Like,
see, we're not going to pay anybody. See,
not going to replace us with AI.
Computers are coming. See.
Oh man, the only thing he's not is rich. So I mean, otherwise, he'd be the perfect villain for the podcast. So Ghostbusters is okay. I'm okay with all the characters. I think it's a fun sort of. It's like a Marvel movie. It's like a B tier Marvel movie is what I kind of got.
Yeah. I had kind of similar response to it. I mean, I don't care for the new, revitalization of Ghostbusters, but that's just my own thing. At this point in my life, I kind of want a different thing for Ghostbusters than what the overall wider audience gets out of it. Like, we grew up with Ghostbusters. I'm sure we had the nostalgic, like, I want to be a Ghostbuster too, running around, pretend we had proton packs and watching the cartoon and things like that. Now that I've gotten older, I appreciate Ghostbusters for a totally different thing, which is what I've talked about on here before, where it's a bunch of comedians absolutely not taking serious being in a blockbuster movie. Like, they're in a blockbuster movie plot, but they're not at all like impressed or wowed by it. Like, they're just taking it not seriously at all, which is kind of the gold you pick up on when you're older. But now Ghostbusters has just become a blockbuster franchise, unironically. So
Is this a hot take? Does Jason have a hot take that he hates Dan Aykroyd?
I don't know if I hate Dan Aykroyd.
Okay in the movie?
I think that's been Jason's take. I don't know
Yeah.
how hot it is.
I don't know if it's a hot take. I'd
it's definitely not a hot take.
Yeah.
Orlando. I'll tell you that. It's definitely not even close to that.
He's eccentric. Out of all the people that take Ghostbusters seriously, he probably takes it seriously the most. Which is probably why it's still going strong here, because he's probably one of the major creative consultants propelling it into the 21st century, where I don't know if it's really got legs to be entertaining as it was back in the 80s. Like, I was kind of bored. I was bored with Frozen Empire. I was like, oh yeah, sure, it's like watching a live action version of the cartoon, but I'm like, I don't really rewatch the cartoon that much, probably for some good reasons.
Right.
Well, because Monster of the Week is boring.
Yeah.
Monster, like, you know, and this takes me back to Across the SpiderVerse. Like, when he's fighting Spot, and the guy's like, "Oh, he's villain of the week," you know, and the guy's like, "Wait, hey, no, like, fuck you, I'm better than that."
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing, because like, a villain of the week is
that's a
boring.
Deconstruction of it.
Yeah. So he was, and then also, like, I loved it, Afterlife.
Yeah, it's ours, Sean.
Yeah.
You also love the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
But also, there are ideas in this movie that I'm like, I would be way more invested if this wasn't a Ghostbusters movie, but it had these ideas. Like, the idea of, like, falling it. Well, I mean, it's been done in other movies. Ghost, for one, but falling in love with a ghost. Like, Phoebe and that ghost girl are falling in love. You can't tell me they're not falling in love.
There's a movie called Ghost.
Yeah,
that is about that.
But it could be like a teen romance type thing that I'm like, you know what, that could work. It's just too bad it's attached to this, like you said, Monster of the Week Ghostbusters episode.
That was probably some of the more compelling parts of the movie, you know. And then, because I thought that was acted very well.
Yeah.
And yes, like, there's a few things in there that aren't bad, but like, I don't like this kind of like Disney version of it. Like, I think if I was gonna reboot Ghostbusters, it would be like I would try to go for actually scary in parts and less like of this like Paul Rudd kind of comedy.
Sure.
Like Ant-Man, the Ghostbusters movie.
The part I did find go ahead, Max. Finish your thought.
No, I just think it's just it's B or C list Marvel, and it's kind of
There's a scene. There was one scene that I was genuinely enjoying, but not because I was supposed to be invested in the characters. Right? It was like you're seeing two polar opposites of the quality of acting in this movie. You see Bill Murray, who's checked out for most of this movie. He's just whatever. I'm here because I'm contractually obligated to. Let me just do whatever in this scene. And then you got Kumail Nanjiani, who's overly invested in being in this movie, and he's doing like the Voight Kampf replicant test on him, or at least that's what I attributed it to. I was, but it's like if Bill Murray was a Blade Runner who was totally, I mean, more so than Deckard, not giving a shit about his job, and the replicant was overly invested in being a replicant. That was the way I was reading it.
I thought Kumail was all right. Like, the parts he was in, that's just what I can't agree.
Original cast,
and then, like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of stuff with McKenna, like, just calling her mom, like, just like, hey, you fucking idiot, like, you're not even really a Ghostbuster. And I'm like, that's like, I don't know, I don't feel like that was a lot. Like, it's just like just petulant child stuff that is like, okay, well, if you're this super logical, super intelligent person, I don't see where this petulant child crap is coming from. And like, I don't know, there's better ways to create tension than to do that. That's sort of like a cop out to me. And there's a lot of just like little
also things. Remember when these people used to be funny?
Yeah.
Remember when Ghostbusters used to be like about comedy?
Yeah. Watch it for a laugh. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing too. I was like, if I was going to reboot Ghostbusters, like, I think there's a really cool. It takes me back to Smile, where like I was scared. Like that movie is legitimately scary to me. A lot of that movie, but there's this one scene where I could not help but laugh, and it was just this weird like dichotomy of like the horror of it and the hilariousness of it. And like that's kind of what I was shooting for, and I think that's where they need to be, and they're just not there.
That's really fair. I think Jason's. Oh, it's my.
I mean, Jason, just fucking come on the show, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no,
What are you doing listening to your own show?
Well, he probably can't talk. I think his throat's hurting. I don't think he really wants to speak. So I think he wants to still engage with us, but also can't verbalize.
I mean, like, hey, like, I love you, man. Like, just come. It's your show, dude. Okay.
I'm playing the DBZ style of comment showing. It's like every third one. You're
gonna develop like arthritis like way early.
Carpal tunnel, like four hands are gonna be all like shriveled up, like trying to just type so much.
Jason's like, I'm never commenting.
What we need Jason to learn how to let his spirit leave his body so he can possess one of us to speak for him.
Now serving Jason. Like a sign.
The Beetlejuice 2 trailer came out. I saw that. Did we talk
the
about
second
that?
I said that, I'm like, someone better talk about Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Picking up what you're putting down here. You tee them up, I'll crank them out of the park.
We can talk about that. Well, how many geeks would you give this, Max? Then.
Ghostbusters. I would give it 2 out of 5 geeks. It's entirely watchable. Like it just doesn't make it up to 3 for me. There's just not enough going on there. But like I someone could argue 3 for me, and like out of apathy, I might just be like, fine, 3, whatever. But like 2 geeks is where I put it at.
Yeah, 2 is kind of where I'm settling on. 2 out of 5 as well. In that, I didn't really care much for Afterlife. So, but at the same time, Afterlife at least was clever enough to manipulate you into feeling something, because they're like saying goodbye to Harold Ramis. Now that that's good, now that we're not saying goodbye to Harold Ramis anymore, I'm like, wow, this universe is boring. So that's where I leave it at.
Yeah, it's a 3 out of 5.
Yep.
For him.
See.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know why Afterlife tickled your pickle like that, Jason. It's just okay. I mean, like, well, Jason likes everything, but that's fine. Yeah. It's whatever. Like, I don't even want to argue. I don't even want to argue about it. Like it does not deserve like this much discourse. You know?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
That's awesome.
I saw Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire this morning.
Oh, I'm.
Was
going,
it good?
As soon as Jason got sick, I got queued up for that movie, so I'm going to see that after it.
Oh, cool. In that case, I'll keep it brief. For what it is, I think it's fine. It's I don't know. It takes a while for it to get going to the titular Godzilla and Kong team up thing. I mean, that's obviously going to be, I'm not spoiling anything here. That's obviously what everything's building towards in the movie. But
wait, what?
Yeah, I know, right?
Up? Mike, how could you? I don't even want to go to the movie now.
But it is still an enjoyable, like, big screen version of a kid playing with action figures, basically. If you're into that aesthetic, which is the thing. Like, you could have Godzilla -1, which actually like makes you think about stuff, and I'm like happy for that. And then you can have this, which is just like, this is a way to kill like an hour and a half. It's fun. It's fine.
Sure.
It's visually, it's pretty cool because you spend more time in whatever Hollow Earth and things like that, and all the creatures and stuff. So
that was always my favorite part as a kid of the universe of Godzilla. Not necessarily like a Godzilla or a King Kong, but like King Kong or Godzilla's kid or King Kong's kid. You know what I mean? Just random like assortment of animals and creatures that you kind of see.
Yeah, you'll get that assortment here, and there's some surprise appearances by some critters. I don't know. I said on my Letterboxd review, like, next time you should just have Godzilla and Kong working at an LAPD precinct like Murtaugh and Riggs. Like,
They're just in suits
Right
and
out-
sunglasses.
right out of the gate, just have them reluctantly teamed up at a precinct, and they have a chief who's like way smaller than them, but who has a huge voice, being like, "You two are fucking up so much, like so much property damage."
It's the
I
T-Rex
want to see-
Dinosaurs.
I want to see the precinct that's built for Godzilla and King Kong to be in at the same time.
Kaiju PD.
Yeah.
KPD.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh, now that-
I'm 100% down for that.
Don't steal that, Warner
already
Brothers.
clipped.
Copyrighted 3 Geeks.
Hey, guys, got it.
Copyright, yeah.
Mike McGee TV. Copyrighted. Oh, dude, yeah, we need to write that.
Give me the greatest comic book of all
There you
time.
go, Kaiju PD.
Let's do it. All right. So, Spider-Man. Did anything else you guys want to talk about in terms of stuff you've seen this week since the last time we talked?
No, real quick, I did start playing a new trading card game called Grand Archive that I am thoroughly enjoying.
Cool.
It's I don't know if I like it better than Magic, but I definitely like the company better than Hasbro.
That's a pretty low bar, though. Let's be very honest.
Yeah. I mean, hey, but like, you know, like if you need something to go to, if you're sitting in the same chair that I'm sitting in, where like they've just kind of screwed the pooch, and you're tired of supporting them, there are outlets. There are outlets. So yeah, check it out. It's called Grand Archive. It's anime themed, so there's a bit of like, there's a lot of the waifu-ness. Okay, there's a lot of the just like big titty anime girls in there. But you know, if you can get past that, the gameplay is actually good.
See you, buddy. Feel better.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So in this clause, we're gonna make sure that we have these benefits.
Three go on Union.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's the only thing I wanted to. Also
Is it how new is it? How is it, like a couple years old? Is it brand new this year?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of years old now. They've had I'm gonna call it 2.5 sets come out. They had like
Cool.
3.5 sets come out. Their inaugural set was a Kickstarter thing that they did. Then they've had another set come out, a little half set after that to supplement the second set, and then they've had a third set come out. So they're about to have the supplemental set come out for this third set, I think in May.
Sure.
And so yeah, it's still pretty new. You know, there's not a whole lot of like different, you know, like the meta is pretty tight right now just because there's not a whole lot of options. But it's still cool how they do it, because like you have a hero that you kind of have to like build your the whole point is to kill your opponent's hero. But then there's like 4 different elements you can use, so 2 people can play the same hero in 2 completely different ways. So that's pretty cool. But you know, only one way is really the best way, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Cool.
Yeah, having fun.
That's the whole point. I'm glad that we're getting away from Magic then. Great. Spider-Man, the short film. Everyone saw it, liked it, didn't like it. What do you think?
Liked it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I liked it as well.
Yeah.
Real.
Me too. It was real.
Yeah. Felt deep.
Yep.
Which I appreciated.
Sent me into an existential dive. Yeah.
Yeah. If folks haven't seen it, spoiler alert, you're kind of following Miles Morales for a little bit of a mental health day as Spider-Man, trying to like juggle the different responsibilities Spider-Man has. At least that's what I took out of it, right? Like that's just.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he essentially has like a panic attack or like sleep paralysis or something. Yeah.
That sleep paralysis demon freaked me out. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, that's a lot.
Like I felt it was yeah, go ahead, Max.
Sorry, the giant spider into all the tiny spiders. Oh, yeah.
Not for you.
Gave me the heebie-jeebies for sure. But it was an interesting, like, he's just a kid.
Yeah.
He's just a kid, and he's got like literally the weight of the world on him, and like that probably gets to you from time to time. I don't know.
For sure.
It was a pretty. I thought it was a pretty accurate like visual representation of probably what it feels like to go through a panic attack, or from what I've remembered about panic attacks I've had in the past and things like that. Also, I thought it was a much needed kind of like segment about just him and his dad, because I feel like in between, I mean, I felt like the father-son stuff in the first SpiderVerse movie really well done, and I liked what they did in the second film, but also I felt like a lot of it was just like, hey, dad yells at you because you're lying to him, and that's kind of the main struggle here, whereas it's not so much about like, what are you hiding from me, son, but more like, hey, I'm here for you if you need me, but I'm not going to push it if you don't want to talk about it. Because he does that. He like puts together this whole movie night for him and his son, and his son's kind of like, I can't. and he's like, okay, well, if you need to.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a cool like flourish to it. It's like focusing on the father-son dynamic in a way that the movie didn't have time to, because there's so much other stuff going on.
Sure. Yeah. They said a lot in 7 minutes,
A whole multiverse of spider people to deal with.
Yeah.
No, I really like that too. And I think that's one of the things that kind of sets Miles apart from your Peter Parker Spider-Man, is like these relationships that he has with his parents.
Yeah.
And because like in Across the Spider-Verse, that moment where he thinks he's home, and he's like, Mom, like I went through and I did it, and it's like, and I won, and like the pride that he had in telling his mom that like only like what you told me got me through there, and I'm here and I'm better because of it. Like that was a big moment for me.
Yeah.
And like again, like that's some of the unique Miles Morales stuff that I really enjoy.
Yeah. I think I was scrolling through. Someone had like a question, like a YouTube question, like what makes Spider-Man so like popular, and some of it was like strength or like skill set or things like that. To me, it's like him being like relatable, like to like a young child also going through like, I'm sure, adolescence, as well as just someone trying to come to terms with like responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, what's the important thing in your life that you have to worry about? Right?
Well, I mean, that's been the appeal of just the character, no matter if it's Peter Parker or Miles Morales. That's been the appeal for what, coming on 60 years now? Yeah, 60 years.
Yeah,
has been
good God.
It's always just been a kid, a kid or a young adult trying to figure stuff out. It's not like a Bruce Wayne who went away with the money and resources to train for years. It's not like a Superman who was born into his gifts, and just was inherently raised to be good. Like Peter and Miles are raised to be good, but also like they're raised to kind of be like, you got to balance out that good with a lot of like selflessness and selfishness at times, the power and responsibility thing. So.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
But no, I thought it was a great short. It only adds to the Spider-Verse movies, and it doesn't, it's not like you need to watch this to go on to the third one. Which I really like too. I was like, this is just really cool. Like he was visiting this universe. It's
a bridge it's a nice little side story in between.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
keep people's attention.
What?
The bridge that
the one in Baltimore,
the Maryland.
Oh,
Baltimore.
shoot.
Yeah.
I wasn't going for that.
Well, I thought this is my brain.
Neither was that.
Yeah, I know. I thought you were freaking out because I mentioned Bridge and Spider-Man, and Spider-Man and Bridges don't have a lot of good luck.
Oh yeah, no, there's
But no, in the real world too. That sucks too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of tragedies, let's talk about Dune 2. Let's go back to the popcorn bucket.
Oh God,
I'm good.
Yeah,
but has everyone here seen Dune 2 though?
Y'all caught up with me finally? Saw the Dune 2?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. You put the one with the reservoir tip on there.
I know. Well, protect yourself.
That's just practically
safe Duning.
What that
safe
is.
Dune.
Yeah.
Dune gooning.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. I'm full disclosure. I might have stolen that from a podcast I listened to.
Bro,
That
steal
occasionally
away.
talks about Dune. I think they
That's all
call
I
it Dune. I think they do call it Dune gooning. I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, I think this is going to be our talk around like the spoiler part of it. But I mean, it's not much of a spoiler for Dune. There's been several iterations of Dune. You're not really getting new Dune. We are getting, I think, the best version of Dune in terms of this series so far. But
The most complete and coherent, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Probably.
What do we think? The Fall of House Harkonnen? What do we think?
I love this. I love when they go to what is it called, Gady Prime.
I love that planet.
Like
There's the black and white. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
good.
then like the fireworks that they have
Ink
there.
blots.
Like, really,
yeah.
Yeah, like it was so cool. Like I was just not expecting anything like that. And that was just so interesting and then so cool how they did that. You know, it's kind of like when they visited the Sardaukar planet for like 4 seconds in the first movie, and then he's throat singing, and it's just like really badass. Like, I everywhere off of Arrakis is awesome. But yeah, no, I thought like that was the part that stood out the most for me, just because like and it's so just visually backwards and yeah, just like crazy. I really, really like that part of the movie. And you know, and it's again like you see like the Harkonnens like in their habitat,
full glory,
right?
And
it is pretty sweet. Like, but yeah, you know, I thought, oh god, who plays the Baron?
Batista?
No, well, it depends on which. He's talking about
the fat guy who like can't. He's got the
I thought you said the beast.
Skarsgård, right?
Skarsgård, yeah, Stellan Skarsgård.
Skarsgård, yes. Just such a great job. And then like when he's on the ground and like he's like, oh, the throne is right there, and he's like crawling for it. Like that was so good.
It was so good.
I still like the inherent weirdness of the Lynch version, because also like his death is completely different in the original material as well. Like Aaliyah's there as a little kid and is supposed to like kill him and things like that. But
so I'm pretty happy with what they did with the child thing, because like that might have been a bridge too far for at least have this.
I'm not gonna buy Timothée Chalamet being in the desert for however many years, because he's not going to look any different no matter how much makeup you put on him. He's still going to look like he's 19 years old. Like if they take a couple years off to do Messiah, then he comes back and he's a little bit older. Sure, I'll buy that, but like I think it was a wise, like I said weeks ago, I think it was a wise decision that they're just like, let's put it down to just a couple of months.
Yeah. Let's hand wave this a little
bit. Well, I thought again, like it was just a really interesting thing too, because like having Aaliyah speak through her mother all the time, and then like you see the weird like conversations they have, and like that just adds to like the absolute weirdness of them, and I thought that was dope. I was like, this is really cool.
And if they just let Anya Taylor-Joy play full grown Aaliyah in like a sequel, then I'm all for that too. Like yeah.
For sure.
I don't like. I'm not.
You're not a fan?
Not a fan of her?
No, not yet. I haven't watched the chess one.
Queen's Gambit.
I heard there was Queen's Gambit. I heard there was something else she was good in, but like
I liked her in that Viking movie. I forget the Viking.
Northman.
Northman.
Oh, the Northman. Yeah. Nah, I didn't really like her in that one. She was like just okay. You know, like it wasn't. Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of hers, but you know.
How about The Menu? Have you seen The Menu? You'd like The Menu.
I think you'd like The Menu.
Okay, I haven't seen that either.
She's good. She's good in that.
I'll have to. Okay, I mean, like I you know, I don't. It's not like I was like, oh god, I can't stand this chick.
Is your exposure to her? Is your exposure to her mainly from New Mutants? Because I can understand you not liking her based on New Mutants.
Yes, that is pretty much it. Northman and New Mutants, I think, is the only thing I've seen with her in it.
She's much better in other things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like.
Agreed.
Yeah, acting is hard.
Yeah,
hey, Jen.
I can't do it. You know.
Don't sell yourself short. You can figure it out.
Mike's had me in a couple things, you know. Like I'll try to help my friends when they need it, but acting, you know, I don't get paid to act. I understand it's not easy. But yeah, it's like, and also, it just depends on who the director is, what they're asking you to do. Like, are they pulling your best out of you? Like, there's a lot of factors in it. I get it. Like, I'm not saying she's awful, and then I hate her and I can't stand her in movies. But
that's what I took away from this conversation.
Watch the menu.
Okay,
You might
fair.
see what you think.
I think you'll like the menu just in general. Whether you like her or not, it's a different thing.
Yeah. I think you'd like the movie in general. I like Dune 2 quite a bit, and it just makes me want to watch more.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, same. I went. This is the first movie this year I went and saw it twice in the theaters. I enjoyed it so much. Right. I really liked Austin Butler. I really did enjoy his version of
Fade
Ralpha.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really good. And the
I
fact that
he was doing an impression of Skarsgård to his face.
Yeah, well, he had an acting coach teach him how to do Skarsgård's like iteration of it. Like he was that was the whole point. Like he was trying to do that, which is awesome. I don't know. Any other call-outs for Dune 2? If not, we can talk X-Men or do whatever we want.
Were you?
I didn't like the last battle with Batista. I thought that was so short. And I really felt like they could have been a good fight scene there, and they just kind of they're like, this movie is already pushing 3 hours.
How did Beast die in the book though? I felt like it was all very short.
Yeah, that's kind of par for the course though with the character.
In the book, any action is very
hand waved.
Yeah, it's hand waved away.
Yeah, and the book is like a very historic document version of the action.
But in other adaptations I've seen too, that character kind of is meant to go out on a whimper, basically, because that's the whole idea. Is he's supposed to be blusterous and bold and fearsome, but he's actually a huge pussy. So
that's fair, I guess. But I mean, you got Batista, you got Batista right there. Like, I love a good. Come on, let's just have a fight.
Yeah.
Let's just have a fight.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, you kind of got your due in part 1. You got when they were on the assault.
Right.
You saw him tearing into people and things like that. So
but
sorry to have
but that's him. That's him being OP, right? And he's just going through dudes, and it's not really a fight so much as him just slaughtering people.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
congrats on the house.
Yeah, I was saying congrats on the house. Yeah, it's okay you couldn't join us.
Yes,
congrats on the house,
I recently purchased a house also, and I'm glad for the people who make it through and get to the end of it, because the whole process sucks.
Well, that goes into our second comment here.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Put your feet up and relax.
Is awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I felt like they could have done a lot more, because also it would have just been more to me that God, what's his name? Thanos.
Brolin. Gurney Halleck.
Yeah, Gurney Halleck. It's he watched the Beast kill his whole family, and he couldn't do anything about it, and he scarred him and kicked him into the dirt and said, "Go live now." That's your punishment. The dude who did that to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the fight from that guy.
Yeah. But also, I felt that's par for the course with these movies too. Is that I don't know? He's trying, because if we gave a huge climactic battle between those two, it would end up being more I guess comic booky. I guess, and Villeneuve is no, there's nothing comic booky about this. This is basically just political upheaval that is not the most exciting thing, but can still be violent.
Yeah, and that might just be me. I just thought it was very much oh, here we go, and then it's just
But I see your point too, because I see your point as well, because there are giant sandworms being ridden in this, so you can do something spectacular.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Keep me honest. When I read the book, Gunny Halleck, he had a group of Atreides soldiers with him, right? I remember them still being in the book. Am I remembering that right? Or am I not remembering that right? I thought when Paul found him, I thought he had a contingent of Atreides soldiers still with him. Still,
maybe 1 or 2 that were part of the smugglers.
Okay,
gang that
it was different smugglers that he.
Yeah,
it was a whole
group
of different different group of people.
And also that's spread out over years too in the book, so he might have had time to have a contingent of loyal followers at that point, whereas here he's been doing the smuggling thing for a handful of months.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Agreed, Jen. Agreed. What was it? The Mentat from the Atreides house. He'll be in the next movie, right? Because he didn't die in the first.
He was supposed to have scenes in this movie, but they got cut out for time's sake, and
because it was 3 hours long already.
Yeah. Because that was a fun twist for me in the book, is him still being alive, helping the Harkonnens against his will.
I think it was him and Tim Blake Nelson. I forget. I don't know who Tim Blake Nelson was supposed to play, but he also had scenes that were cut. So,
gotcha. I was looking forward to seeing him. It's unfortunate. That's okay.
I can never see Tim Blake Nelson without thinking about "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou." We thought you was a toad.
I'm sure you guys knew this, but yeah. Javier Bardem, you're good. I didn't know Stilgar was the good dude from Old Country for Old Men. No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't put it together.
Oh, no, man.
Don't you just love how goofy he is in this movie, though?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I kind of loved it, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he was. I thought he was perfect. I thought
it was great.
And he kind of carries the whole middle of the movie. But yeah, no, Javier Bardem is definitely the dude from No Country. But back to Blake Nelson, "Go for Everett" is my favorite line in the whole movie. I don't know. You just don't get more hillbilly podunk white trash.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
My favorite line is still just, "We thought you was a toad. Do not seek the treasure."
All right, I know what I'm watching tonight.
Great film.
Good. I enjoyed the music a lot too.
Oh, and which one? Oh, Brother, We're Out There.
Both. I mean, both. I could say
or Dune. Now we're just talking about a mixture of movies that these people have been in. Yeah.
So has everyone here read? I haven't. Full disclosure. Has everyone read the next one, Dune Messiah, the next book? Because that's going to come into this third movie.
I haven't. Parts of it from what I remember. It's gonna the adaptation of Messiah is going to be a little different too. I'm guessing just because obviously since there was a timeline crunch, some big things were kind of left out, like their first kid.
That's true.
They're not even an item right now because Chani's like, "You're crazy. I'm gonna go ride a worm."
See, the Spider-Man.
And you're married to some other chick. F you, right? I'm not going to be a side piece.
But mostly billions of lives being lost in the jihads. A big kicker.
Yeah. I have a copy of Dune Messiah, so I'm going to assume that I read it.
I have started reading it, but I just could not chug my way through it just yet.
It gets weird.
Yeah.
That's when things really get weird, and things are kind of already sort of weird, but that's when things really kind of lose their...
I can't wait for Leto 2.
That's when the acid kicks in, you know what I'm saying?
Leto 2, man. I saw someone put a Croatian version of Children of Dune or something, the cover on, and it has Leto 2 on there as, the God Emperor, half man, half worm thing, and it is the most, it's like the meh emoji superimposed onto a worm body.
That's
it's just
awesome.
the funniest thing. But it looks like a 5-year-old drew it, and I'm just relatable. I get it.
That sounds right.
That sounds pretty on par for Leto 2 from what I remember.
Cool. But yeah, everyone loved Dune 2. Do we want to talk X-Men now? I can't talk.
Sure, I'll talk X-Men. If everyone else has seen X-Men.
I'm not currently compiling my list of top 5 X-Men.
All right, we can talk Dune some more.
Oh, are we talking top 5 X-Men? I thought we were talking about the show X-Men.
We could.
Oh, okay.
We had intended
I
for
thought
a
Justin
top 5.
said, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
said
Justin.
top 5 at the beginning of the show.
Justin's is carrying out the orders.
Obviously,
yeah.
no. Obviously, I had already had. This is another list I'm working on. It's not my top 5 X-Men, so I knew beforehand that we were doing this. But yeah, like I haven't got the chance to watch the show yet.
Okay.
It got kind of crazy.
It's good. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, Max. I want to watch it, let you catch up. It's good.
I'm glad.
Awesome.
I was excited when they, when they're like, oh, hey, this is the thing we're doing. I thought the animation, I liked that they went kind of to the old style, but like a little updated, like it's touched up more, But so I was like, this is cool. I'm down for this. I don't remember where the original series left off, so this is also going to be like a fun just kind of throwing you back into the deep end of X-Men cartoons.
If I gotta give the first episode one demerit, it's that they didn't do a previously on X-Men for the first episode that just encapsulated all 5 seasons.
Yeah,
yes,
that would have been great, but
that's a shame. Yeah,
but they do catch you up in the first episode. They catch you up to what's going on.
What if it was the 30 minutes of previously on, just the whole episode, just the previously on?
The whole, all 5 seasons is the previously on X-Men, and it runs through the whole thing.
What a fun trick!
7 hours later, you're like,
or it's just sort of like a Rickroll previously on X-Men, and it's just 5 minutes of Wolverine looking at the picture, being sad in his bed. That meme.
I miss Jean Grey.
Oh my goodness! Yes, I'm down for that. I'm 100% down for that. But no, I'm glad it's good. I'm glad that hopefully they spent time and they found somebody who really wanted to do this to run it. And that's the most important thing. Is did they just get some suit to run it, or are they trying to make money, or are they trying to make something good?
Yeah. Do they get a mutant? Be good. All right. Well. Shoot, why not? Let's go through it.
Sure.
Yeah. I think my number 5, we can start and go around because I think Max may or may not still be writing stuff down.
No. This is something else that I'm writing. It's
a different list. Next week's list. He's got next week's list ready to go.
Sure.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Gambit, just because I grew up around a lot of folks that really love Gambit. So I've grown to love card throwing and the Southern draw and just kind of that whole deal. I think he's from Louisiana. I don't know. He's a fun mutant though. It's a good time.
What is that clacking noise?
Oh, I keep dropping. I bought these things. Magneto balls, and I keep.
Oh, okay. I was like, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, someone
dying.
Someone playing with slap bracelets or something.
Could you imagine?
Are we just? We're talking about X-Men. We're back in the '90s, obviously. So.
Oh man! Or we should talk about those kickflip, the skateboards, the mini skateboards. Those were the best growing up.
Those were the best. Those still around, aren't they?
I guess I saw some kids playing with them recently. Yeah, those were big for me.
Yeah,
I see those in Dollar Tree all the time.
Never left.
Yeah.
They've never left.
They've
always
good.
been here.
Good.
I don't have any, but you can still tech Decker out.
All right,
nice.
Don't go on Jen's bad side.
Be careful.
Need a slap bristle.
Be careful with those.
They can smart.
Those things.
Yeah, wasn't there? I seem to recall there was a little bit of a brief scare, oh my gosh, our kids are going to hurt themselves with the slap bracelets.
Yeah, they got canceled.
They did?
You weren't allowed to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why they went away. It wasn't just okay, this is a fun thing that we did. They were like, this is dangerous, and you're not allowed to make them anymore.
This is dangerous. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it's just a thin piece of metal that they had in there that that's curved, so that when you slapped it, so once the cloth would wear down,
you're smacking each other with sheet metal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I guess I didn't slap as much.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to do 30,000 slaps. I don't know what this motion is, but
Meanwhile,
Everyone knows what that motion is.
we know what that
Everyone
motion
does.
is.
Everyone knows what that motion is.
Yeah, okay.
you'd have to, you'd have to
Right.
slap your ass off. But
Don't-
it was a thing. It was dangerous.
Yeah, don't
That's
slap
how come-
then.
that's-
Watch the cartoon with the dude with knives for his hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Canadian?
That's how come our generation is harder than these newer generations. You know, so like we had toys that you could cut your wrists with.
Yeah, seriously get messed up on.
Mike, what was your number 5?
I'm gonna go ahead and join in with you on this. Gambit was my number 5, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I do love his, and I'm using French here, laissez-faire attitude about things. Like he just kind of takes things in stride. Is very kind of c'est la vie, as it were, which is very appropriate for him. But also, when he first showed up in the comics, like he was a big question mark. Like people were like, is he gonna be revealed to be a bad guy, or is he just kind of a charming rogue
That was my opinion for a long time. Was that dude's gonna be a bad guy at some point?
Yeah, and that was the way they played
It's
it.
so
Especially,
obvious. I'm glad they never did it.
yeah,
You know, like
because then he more than earned his keep on the team and stuff, and
Mhm.
you're like, okay, I can see why, and also the amount of patience he has to like be like, I'll be right here for you, Rogue, whenever you need me, as she figures out
Right.
like her whole power thing, and also like the fact that she can, touch Magneto and things like that, and he's got that Silver Fox thing going for him, and Gambit's like, hey, over here. The fact that he and Rogue finally tied the knot is, something of a miracle.
For sure. Also, I appreciate the transition. That was smooth, Jeff. I appreciate you very much.
Yes, if you are enjoying the witty banter, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Slap that like button on your wrist.
We need the animated thing now, so one of us can be like, right here, this one. Boop boop.
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I'll work on that next time.
Um,
And then I'll forget.
Yeah.
My number 5 X-Men is a newer addition to the X-Men roster, Darwin. I really like the idea of the character who just adapts to like you can't kill him. Like that power may not necessarily come in handy for anyone else, but like and I thought they did him so dirty in the
His first class, right?
yeah.
He got murdered. He was like, he can't die.
And
I was
here's
like,
the
well, he can.
Yeah.
That's actually I
was
like that movie quite a bit for other reasons, but the way they treat Darwin is so dirty. Like, yeah.
It's like they really needed to call him something else because like that's the one thing that you can't do to Darwin is actually kill him. Like that's just it. So I was like, wow, you guys are really just F this all up. Like
Yeah.
because like there's not even a hey, like I'm back at the end of it's like it was
Right.
really dumb. But no, Darwin, I just really like that character because like they always find like new and interesting ways to like kill him for a second and then he like adapts and lives. But no, it's always a good time.
Makes sense. I will admit my number 4 is directly from the movies because I didn't realize how cool he was until the movies. But Nightcrawler, number 4, just because I like him just jumping around.
Can we pause on Nightcrawler?
Oh yeah.
Much higher up.
I figured.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll hold it.
Mike, who's your number 4?
Okay. My number 4 is actually I like Emma Frost as an X-Man quite a bit. Because I did read the Grant Morrison new X-Men stuff when she officially like kind of came on officially as a team member full time, and then going into like the Astonishing X-Men stuff. And I did like her obviously colder Machiavellian approach to being in the X-Men, but at the same time like it taught her to like really like soften up a little bit as well, like being a part of an actual family as opposed to a club like the Hellfire Club or just a group, self-serving group, whereas it made her into an actual hero. And she had some good development, and I don't know, I haven't stayed current with a lot of the X stuff since the Astonishing run, but I've heard there's been sort of a backslide back into kind of villainous territory for her, and I'm kind of like, I kind of liked her more as, not full blown goody two shoes hero, but at the same time, like I like the where she was going, and I did like her relationship with Cyclops. That was being
yeah, I thought that was really good. I also think that character can be on like she's not gonna be on either end of the spectrum, but like she could be on either side and kind of just be like she's not the total d-bag villain, but she can be bad. But she's not like the nicest, most helpful person, but she can be good.
She's a realist. She's a realist.
Yes. Yeah, so I dig her. I think it's like a solid pick. And there's a lot there, and she's a very interesting character too. So
sure,
that's pretty good. My number 4 is Bishop. I like Bishop because like I feel like he's just too serious. He's always like especially in the cartoon, he's just always so amped up. Like, oh, we gotta stop this from happening, and everyone's like, bro, chill. Like it's you can't stop this from happening every day all the time. So yeah, I was just like Bishop because I was just thought he's always at like 11, and everyone's like, bro, we just need you to 6. Like, we just need you to bring it down.
That's awesome. My number 3 was Storm. I just like the idea of controlling weather. It's just so cool to me. Like she could have just like the worst personality, which she doesn't, but like she could have like just be a robot and still control the weather, and it would be the cool like in my top 3 of things to do. You know what I mean? But I read her comic books.
Yeah.
Like I think I have her the whole run and they cut it short, but I have like all of them. I really liked the story. I think it was when she was dating Wolverine. Like it was, I just enjoyed it. She's a fun character to me.
You and I are on the same wavelength. Oh, go ahead, Max.
Yeah.
No, you good.
Because she was my number 3 as well. Like I like Storm a lot too. Yeah, the fact that she could like fully embrace the whole "I am a goddess" type of persona, but she's really grounded. And again, I love like she's optimistic, but also is something of a realist as well. And has kind of I feel like she's honestly usurped Jean Grey with regards to like being, and I use this term with the utmost like affection, like the den mother of the X-Men to some degree, like to the point that she's the one that a lot of people will take their lead from, but she's also the one who looks out for like some of the younger ones like Kitty Pryde and other characters like that. And yeah, like she's, as it says in the show, this isn't a spoiler or anything, Max, but Omega level mutant. So
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that like she. Okay, you know what actually like made me appreciate Storm even more was the oh god, what was it? Encanto?
The Disney movie.
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's all got superpowers.
I was like, she showed up in that.
Like no, she killed. Well, no, there's a chick there who's got power over the weather, but her emotions completely like she doesn't control her powers. Her powers control her. And her emotion, like whenever she's feeling, like happy or whatever, it's something outside. If she's sad, like if she's worried about something, like there's a friggin' hurricane happening. But Storm was never like that. Like, and I was like, you know what? Storm's a freaking hard ass. Like she has like again, like she could be having a bad day and freaking like F5 tornado is gonna happen, but that's never been her. And she's always had like had it like locked down. She's using her powers when she wants to use them and for the benefit of whatever she's doing. So yeah, I think Storm is dope, and I love like African Queen. Like, let's go.
Yeah. One of the like I think like one of the penultimate leaders of the X-Men too. Like
yes,
I know like everyone's like, well, there's been a resurgence of Cyclops love thanks to the show, and I'm like, sure, okay, yeah, people like Cyclops, they're good qualities to that character, but I'm like, in terms of like a leader I would follow Storm probably way more than I'd ever follow Cyclops.
And yeah, Storm would kill Cyclops so quickly.
Can we take a brief pause? I don't understand even the appeal of Cyclops. I'm gonna be very frank.
I mean,
I don't get it.
He's the straight man to everything else going on. Like he is the by the book Boy Scout. I'm following professor's orders to the letter type character. You need that on the team dynamic. Otherwise, there's no tension.
See, like Cyclops to me is like a Captain America type. He's a strike leader. He's like, if you need if you need someone to run your operation, you call this guy. Like, that's always who Cyclops has been to me. So it's like, for like lower level X-Men stuff, he's always great because like, hey, like we're running into this place, we need X, Y, and Z to happen, and we need to get out. Cyclops is who I want.
Right. But in recent years,
the appeal of Cyclops, I think.
In recent years, he's definitely become more of a revolutionary type of leader as well. Since, in recent years, mutants keep getting more and more marginalized. Like, he gets more and more militant, which, makes sense. Like, he's kind of right in the middle of Xavier and Magneto, and in recent years has been leaning more towards Magneto's outlook on things. So it makes him more interesting, certainly. But in terms of, like, inspiring something within me as a leader, I don't find him as inspiring as I find Storm. He's still a great leader in terms of the team dynamic, like you said, Max. He has his qualities, but in terms of like someone who really like rallies people and can really inspire them, not just with words but with the grand actions, Storm would be the one I'd follow probably.
Sure.
Yeah, but and then they've always been, like blue team, gold team leader.
Yeah.
It's always been that. So but like Cyclops has never been my favorite, but like again, like he's always been useful. Just to answer your question, Justin, like he's definitely got a spot, but he doesn't hold a candle to Storm. Like there's no way, there's no argument you can make that says he's gonna do better. That's awesome. My number three is Shadowcat.
Kitty.
I love Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, Ariel, Sprite. She's gone by many different monikers, but I just really dig her power set and like the character, kind of like the little sister of the X-Men. So I really dig her. My love comes a lot from the X-Men movie, the animated one, like the
Pride of the X-Men
for the Pride of the X-Men. So like that's kind of where I met and I was like, okay, she's dope. But like it's and then Astonishing X-Men.
I was about to say
like they let her shine. So like that was really cool.
Talk about, bring it back to Emma Frost, because she's like the one person on the team that's like, I can't believe you're all trusting this woman. Like, I'm watching this woman like a hawk, and like the fact that there is a pretty much a one-on-one between the two of them at some point, and also like the big remember she phased the like planet-sized bullet through the earth.
That's where I'm like, okay, awesome. You're dope. Like that's that's Omega level. No, and just like Astonishing X-Men just solidified my love for her in my heart. Just because I'm like that was so like great situation to put her in, and just what a cool thing, what a cool thing.
Imagine how different the Days of Future Past movie would have been if she had stayed the main, because that's the thing, she's the main character of the original Days of Future Past. Her future self phases back into her younger body, and imagine, and I mean, I like the movie for what it is.
Sense? Is that what you want? Is you want things to make sense?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is like the movies craft wise I think are fine, obviously the directors but I now looking back on it, I'm kind of like, I don't really appreciate so much how Wolverine centric all those movies end up being, because it takes away from the greater moments for the characters that are actually there that you can use if you weren't so hung up on Wolverine just because Hugh Jackman made him charismatic as hell.
Right.
That's why I also purposely left Wolverine off this list too, because that would be expected.
Oh yeah, no, Wolverine never was. I'm a Buckeyes fan, so Wolverine never makes my top ever. But he's just not interesting to me. And in the movies, I'm sorry, but like they've never gotten a dude to play Wolverine that was Wolverine to me. Like Hugh Jackman's like 6'5" or something. Like,
right.
That dude is lanky and he's not just this like brooding, like hunched over, like ball of muscle that like they
Yeah.
always depict Wolverine as in the comic books, and like yeah, sure, like hashtag not my Wolverine. Let's go. Like
That's awesome. And Jen says something I agree with. I love that all X-Men characters actually grow like regular people and can have bad points, not just Wolverine.
Yep.
Agree. Cool. My number 2 is Magneto. I love a good villain, and he is an excellent villain. He is an absolutely excellent villain. He's relatable, and yeah, so good. But I feel like I hit a note with Mike because I saw a fist pump.
We're just all on the same. Well, you and I at least are hitting on the same wavelength here. Yeah, when Magneto full on joins a team, he does that sporadically throughout the history, of course. That's when he gets really interesting for me because you could argue the point like he's not wrong in what he's doing. From his perspective, he's going to extremes certainly, but it's extremes that he's kind of taking to protect his people, so to speak.
Well, and also, it's not really anything that hasn't been done to him.
Exactly.
It's not like the field isn't fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But when he compromises to work within Charles Xavier's parameters or his dream. I love that too, mainly because part of me is like, yeah, I hope he can work in this because he's obviously really good at it. Like he takes over teaching at the school for Charles with the New Mutants in the comics and stuff, and he ends up being a great headmaster, a great teacher for them. And it's only because of bad circumstances and bad luck and Marvel editorial that we need Magneto to be a bad guy again that they end up reverting him back to being a bad guy. But like he's actually really more interesting when he's forced into that system that he doesn't want to be a part of coexistence.
Yeah, and it's like the comparisons made all the time where Professor X is Martin Luther King and Magneto is Malcolm X. But like even Malcolm X said, it's like, hey man, like you guys want to deal with that guy. Right. Like, don't let it come to me.
Yep.
Because you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. So like I thought that was always done very well. And you can understand where he's coming from and what he's trying to do. And it's never just like he's never just like a maniacal like random villain. Everything he does, like like what he's working towards and why, and you can see how someone put through the things that he's been through would end up there. So Magneto is so as a villain, and then when he comes over, when he crosses over, it's not done poorly, and right. You see where he's grown there too. So when he comes over to the X-Men side, it's because a lot of good kindnesses have been sent his way, and when he has to revert back to being a villain, it's because a lot of trauma has been dumped on him. Mm-hmm. So it makes him very sympathetic in that because I'm like, I'd probably lose my shit too, Yeah, like okay, even like let's say you have the power over magnetism, which is so OP. Like that's just so OP. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Storm, like Omega level freaking mutants. Goodness sake. But right. When you had all that power and you could do something, like when pushed as far as he's been pushed, what would you do? And you're like I would do that same thing. Why not? My number 2 is Colossus, who would absolutely get thrashed by Magneto. Colossus is just I don't know why. I think it's because of the X-Men arcade game, where I fell in love with Colossus. But he's just a big metal guy. he's
just a dude.
Sweet Russian boy.
But like his story is great. He's like the gentle giant, and but I am mighty. I am Colossus. He's dope. Like Colossus, definitely one of my favorite X-Men of all time.
Even though I didn't put him as favorite, like Colossus was close, just because he's had really good moments. Like there was the Fatal Attractions crossover, where it was right after his sister had died, who she comes back obviously, but it's the first time like his faith in the X-Men has been like truly like shaken, and that's when Magneto's like, hey, we don't have to be this way, and Colossus is like the only one who's like, yeah, I'll sign up, I'll go into that. I'm all for this.
Yeah,
awesome.
It
made him interesting because it's like it pushed him into a place that like the other X-Men wouldn't go. Like even Wolverine's like, someone tell me someone's controlling his mind, because this is insane.
Yeah, nobody would see that too, just again because like he's such a kind, gentle, like they love to do a dichotomy with the characters, so it's like it's weird that the sweetheart, gentle person turns into this hulking metal man. But and then he's another one from the Pride of the X-Men, and where I just fell in love with the character. Him Colossus v Juggernaut's always a good time. So yeah, Colossus is my number 2.
Awesome. I think we have a couple from Jen. Doc Ock is my favorite villain. I can't help it. Fair. I really did enjoy when Doc Ock was inside Peter Parker, like
Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Superior Spider-Man is dope.
Yeah.
I still haven't read that whole run. I need to get the trades on that.
Yep.
They're great. Yeah.
I think you hit it right there on the head, Jen. Yep.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be this whole, the allegory of it's about bigotry and racism, and how those who are being persecuted against are supposed to are expected to just take it, but also it's like they can rise above it.
For sure. My number 1. I was really between Beast and Professor X, to be honest. I think I'm gonna go towards Beast. I really enjoyed the idea of like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and the fact that he was like always experimenting himself. That's the kind of the reason he's in the position he's in. Mm-hmm. I just enjoyed McCoy. Sorry, I forget his actual name, but
Hank McCoy, right?
Hank, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Okay, good.
Yeah, you're right. It's because Star Trek.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Which is funny. There is an X-Men Star Trek comic book crossover, and I think Nurse Chapel comes. They're on the Enterprise with the X-Men, and Nurse Chapel comes in. It's like, Dr. McCoy, and they're both like, yes.
That's awesome. And then Chelsea Grammer. I enjoyed Chelsea Grammer as Beast. That was fun.
Kelsey, yeah.
Kelsey, sorry. Chelsea, my bad.
Kelsey,
his sister.
What's happening?
No, I love that Beast is always like mutating and evolving or something. Like they always portray him a little different. He went from like dude with like ape-like qualities to like full ape thing to like then he kind of went feral cat thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they kind of just do different things with Beast, and I'm down for it. I like that he kind of is always going through this change.
Yeah, I like the character too. I've never really been a fan of his comic version so much, but like when you hear him in the cartoon, especially, like that's when he comes alive for me. Just because he's this highfalutin intellectual who just happens to climb on the ceiling and is hairy and.
Yeah, he's always climbing on the ceiling. I loved as a kid. Like, is he upside down? Yeah, he's upside down.
My favorite part of the X-Men show is like when he would go to like art galleries and things like that in a suit and stuff, but everyone's still just like gawking at him because he's a blue hairy dude. Can you imagine? Like, but he just puts up with it. He's just like, he has to be super chill.
How much shampoo does that guy go through in a year?
Yeah.
I mean, who need to be sponsored? Or Professor X gives him all his hair money.
Yep. I mean, not like the professor needs it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. What'd you get, Mike?
Here's where we got to talk about this guy probably because this is you and me number 1. I'm sure Max Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's
I was like, all right. He had to show us something. Yeah.
He's my number 1.
Nightcrawler is my favorite X-Man of all time. X2, the Nightcrawler scene in the second X-Men movie, so dope. In the friggin' Ultimate Alliance, I think it was Ultimate Alliance, is a cutscene of him in Doctor Doom's castle.
Yeah,
super dope.
Who'd you save in Ultimate Alliance? Did you save him or because it's a choice? Like you have to sacrifice one or the other, him or Jean Grey. Who'd you sacrifice?
Nightcrawler every time. Fuck Jean Grey. Fuck anyone else. I don't care.
Yes, it. Yep.
All right.
she's used to
I love
dying.
his
It's
power
okay.
set. Yeah, and then she's gonna come back. She's gonna come back. Like that's her thing.
She's a phoenix.
She's gonna. She has to die. I'm just helping the story progress. You know what I'm saying? Like this is all part of the process.
The altruism in Max is really shining.
This isn't his first X-Men rodeo. It's like, yeah, we know how it goes with Jean Grey.
Oh, she died. All right.
Oh,
She either dies, gets cloned, or faints. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, and that's it. It's like, okay, she's gonna do like one thing that's gonna be semi badass, and then she's gonna pass out.
You're right. You're right.
yeah.
That's her thing.
Or she'll destroy a solar system. One of the two.
Yeah, you know. Maybe she needs to be dead. You know. I don't know.
But anyways, Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. I've always liked that he's sort of like the Gambit, except he doesn't look good. You know. And
I think he looks cool.
Well, no, but he's not attracted to women in X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Gambit's got the Rogue's good looks. But Wolverine always calls him Fuzzy Elf, and I think it's like he's super good.
That's what I kind of love about Nightcrawler too. He seems to be the X-Men that everyone is on really good terms with, whatever the circumstances. I hope this isn't a focus so much in 97. He's supposed to show up in 97. He's in the trailers and stuff, but like in the original show, he was very pious and very much like God is good and everything like that in the original show for the 2 episodes he showed up for. And that's only like one aspect of his character in the comics. Like he doesn't always have Bible in hand preaching at his fellow X-Men about stuff all the time. He goes, like you said, he pals around with Wolverine, so he goes out drinking with him all the time. He plays pranks on people. He swashbuckles and things like that. And he is a lady.
Like 2 swords? Let's go.
Right? Super cool. He's a swashbuckler.
And to contradict you, Max, he is a ladies' man. Like he's gotten with some characters. And in the most recent thing, I read this 5-issue comic run that they came out with recently, Uncanny Spider-Man, where he is a Spider-Man for Central Park. Like he dresses up like Spider-Man, but it's clearly Nightcrawler. Like Spider-Man's like, you're not fooling anybody. You don't hide your tail. You bamf everywhere. And then Silver Sable comes in to to capture him or something for this organization, but immediately is like, I like you. And so whenever she has the helmet on, she's hunting him. Whenever the helmet comes off, they're like macking on top of like rooftops and stuff like that. It's the way I came to this conclusion. The way Dick Grayson and Nightwing are sort of like the himbo of DC, Nightcrawler is the himbo of Marvel. Like he pulls down when he needs to.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Like,
I mean, he's a really amicable dude.
But,
like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but like because in the cartoon, he wasn't around. Like
right,
just did not feature him in the cartoon, and Gambit was that guy.
And when
I always thought they did him dirty.
And when he did show up, he was always being like I said, preachy. I'm surprised he didn't self-flagellate or whatever. Like, oh Lord, forgive me.
Right.
Like, so I really hope they tone that down this time around. Like, make him fun in this show.
Yeah,
like, he deserves to be fun.
For sure. And he's an acrobat. Another Dick Grayson comparison. He's a great just acrobat. Like like him flipping around, doing all this craziness. Yeah, like the guy who does that is not whipping himself and doing 10 Hail Marys. Like let's have some fun here. That was the part in the movie when he started explaining like his markings on himself. I'm like, he was cool up until now. Like I like Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. I think he's fine in that role. But like as soon as he started talking about like the self-marking stuff in like Glory to God, I'm like, oh man, he leaned into it. It's like a passing thing, and then he finds out like the priesthood he's working for has like exploding communion wafers, and then he gives up being a priest in the comics. Like his spirituality was like one tiny aspect, and they decide like,
Nightcrawler's really Christian. And I'm like,
Yeah, he's
No,
the Christian guy. Like everybody needs one.
Everybody
like-
needs one.
Yeah, that sucks. Hopefully they let him have some fun.
yeah, I want him to have some fun because he's such a fun character. So cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we did it.
We did it.
Top 5 X-Men.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
We got there. And I actually need to get we need to cut this off right now because I'm gonna be late for my movie.
Yeah.
Enjoy your movie.
Enjoy your movie.
Thanks everybody for watching. Sorry we went a little bit over. Have a good night and a good weekend. See you.
Recycle your droids.
Maybe.